Sup people, welcome to 1000 Words. My name is Radu, I'm a street photographer from Romania, and today we're talking about this Act of Faith by Oliver Merce, a fellow Romanian photographer. It's a wonderful, beautiful book. Before getting into the deep of things, a bit of housekeeping is in order. I've created a Discord server loosely based around the theme of my channel, which is street photography, documentary photography, humanist urban photography if you want. And if any of this interests you, I would be very happy to welcome you. So kindly join me on my Discord server. Link is in the description. Help us build a community there. We've just crossed the 30-person mark recently, but I want to assure you, we already have a handful of very quality people there. So hopefully I'll see you there. Now, I make no claims of doing this as a professional critic. Everything in this video is my own opinion, subjective experiences with seeing the pictures in this book, but I will do my best to offer a bit of insight into how I see this work, and this is actually very beautiful work. However, my opinion on this work is to be taken with a bit of a grain of salt, because it's just something I'm trying out for the first time now. I have been planning to do this for a while now, and this is going to be the first video in a series of book reviews. I'm going to call them reviews, even if they're mostly just impressions and thoughts and opinions on the images in this book. That said, let's not waste any more time and let's start looking at pictures and talking about them. Right, so this is it. Quite simple and unassuming as far as the cover artwork goes, but I like it. It's beautiful texture, looks like canvas to me. I think it's a sort of canvas, judging by the texture. First image is very well chosen, and I'll just go ahead and say this right from the get-go. The sequencing for this book is fantastic. Really, really great work. I think it's done by Cristian Bassa. Hopefully I got the name right and the person right, but I think I'm right in saying that, and he's done a wonderful job. The sequencing is great. It's just excellent pacing, very, very well chosen. Each and every image fits well with one another, where there are two images on opposing sides. When there's an image spread across the spread of the book like this, it's really effective. I just love how this is inviting you in. It's setting the tone right from the get-go. The wonderful shadow of a cross. This person that's really dynamic, really confidently entering here. Excellent. And these QR codes, I think they'll come across just fine for you to scan them. They will take you, and this is a really interesting stuff, they will take you to recorded sounds from the environment where the images were taken. So be my guest and scan the QR codes. Really beautiful, serene moment. And the kids here, quite funny, quite easy and light right from the get-go. The guy's face just barely visible here in the window makes the entire photo just excellent. Without the face, it would have been just an okay shot, but the face, it almost looks like a judgmental stare from the gentleman there. Excellent, excellent image. Now this one is the first of my favorites. She just looks like just another one of these pillars. The whole image at first has a sense of something stuck in stone, of a petrified, frozen moment. However, there's a lot of dynamism here. The way her clothes move from the wind, also the hair, adds dynamism to a shot that might otherwise be apparently just petrified, but very, very full of emotion. The way she holds her hand on her chest is just beautiful. Really clever framing. A lot of action here. This woman is crossing herself. People just watching or listening to the sermon. And the gentleman here with the icon. I just love the fact that he wears open shoes with socks. Really a Balkan thing to do. All the shots are really telling. They speak a lot. The way your eyes travel across the image is just beautiful. And all these people here are kind of doubled by the saints in the icons in the back. A lot going on with this picture. People kneeling in prayer, old babushkas, and some gentlemen here. Your eyes just travel across the image, going from here to 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 here. The kid here just helps to punctuate the image, serves also as a contrast between what is generally just old people and the youth of the kid here. Clever usage of focal lengths. A lot of very intimate, like this one here, or this one here. But then he comes with wide angles. This is another one of my favorites. Just goes to show how much humor Oliver has and how humorously he approaches an otherwise very somber setting. A very serious thing like church mass and prayer and faith. However, still respectful, but very humorously. The kid is just fantastic here. This is one of the best images in the book and one of my favorites. A lot of emphasis on the ritualistic side of faith. This is an Orthodox Mass. This is very strong, very powerful. And I used to say that shooting people from behind is lazy and boring, but this just serves to contradict me, and it does so very well at that. Now, it's still an exception to an otherwise good rule. I stand by my words, but this is just extremely powerful. All these nuns just look like ghostly figures, all this black, and then the towering steeple of the church in the background. It's just like it's almost like it's one of them, or they are one with the church. Really powerful, really vividly telling of stories. Excellent reflection. Have I skipped one? No, I haven't. Excellent reflection. Yet again, brilliant sequencing, even visually, but also the subject matter. Nuns here, nuns here. The visual interest, the candles in the foreground is just the same like the light parts of the reflection here. A lot of emotion here. The way she cries and holds this person, the hand on her shoulder is just kind of, almost kind of sad, but still comforting. And just look at this, man. This is another one of my favorites. This is extremely powerful. Very beautiful. This is one of the few images in this book that raises the hair on my back. And I'm making no exaggerations. This is a strong physiological reaction when looking at these images. And it's not only the first time, because I've seen these images several times by now, and I'm getting the same reactions. I just wish this wasn't here, whatever this is. I'm really not sure what this is, but I find this as a distraction. This would have been much nicer if this was shrubbery here, but by this point I'm nitpicking and I'm doing this a disservice, because otherwise this image is really strong. The flowers here, the steeple in the background, the pose of this person with her hands together, eyes closed, just in complete abandon. Excellent. Fantastic work. Fantastic. This is beautiful as well. The journey your eyes take following the crosses, then reaching the girl here, just beautiful. Just beautiful. I think this is a bit of an imperfection from print, which is otherwise, how should I put it? It's not the strongest suit of the book. I think, well, all right, I think the images in this book deserve much better print. But still, I'm guessing he wanted to keep the costs down. He wanted to keep the print local, much like I did with my books. So in this part of the country, there's not a lot of options. But yeah, while the print is just all right, the images are fabulous. Really strong black and white. Very good processing. And the compositions are just beautiful. This is amazing. The contrast between the black and the white, a person that is not fully shown, and the kid here, the line separating the two, also guiding your attention towards the subject, which is the kid here, kneeling in. Is it play? Is it prayer? Does it even matter? It's just a beautiful image at that. Very calm and serene look on the kid's face. Beautiful. Did I tell you about the sequencing? Look, the kid here, a kid here, a kid here. This person behind the tree here, you don't even see his head, but it's really interesting. This picture wouldn't have worked just nearly as well were it not for this person here, because it's really well balanced. Obviously, the subjects are the people in the front, but this kid here and this person here serve to balance the image quite well, while this boy swinging from the tree here adds quite a bit of movement and dynamism to the image. And this image is kind of the contrary to this. Everything is still. Even the pose of these people here, it's so obviously still the boy kneeling, the people standing still like they have roots here. Excellent sequencing, really well thought out. A lot of movement here, stillness here. Also within the same image, there's a lot of contradiction and the beautiful triangle here. Two people, a single person. Kneeling, sitting and standing and full of movement. Oliver has a really good eye for photography at the end of the day. He just sees them, and I mean, maybe a lot of people see them, but the trick is with capturing it and capturing what you see. And it's not like I'm trying to make it out like it's something to do with speed. It's a sensibility of the eye and of the heart. Very, very full of emotion, this image. Her pose is just like full with uneasiness. I love the little detail here. The bit of dirt on this lady's feet makes this image almost kind of like you can feel it and smell it. No doubt there was a bit of dampness and wetness in the grass, because I don't think this dirt would have otherwise stuck to her soles. The fact that she kneels on the bench is kind of strange, but really adds to the image. The girl is also holding what seem to be like flowers or grain. Is it wheat? I'm not even sure. You can't really make it out, but the parallel is obvious, and the line here separating shadow and light, the girl just crossed from shadow into light. She's dressed in white, or basically just very bright colors. The gentleman here is dressed in black and dark colors. She seems like all happy and easygoing while he's lost in thought or maybe prayer. And the sparrow here punctuates this image wonderfully. It just adds an airy spiritual quality to it. I notice Oliver tends to shoot a lot with really small apertures because he always has a lot of depth of field. Everything is in sharp, clean focus. Grain here, wheat grain here. Really great sequencing yet again. It's a great composition. There's no overlapping of figures. Well, this is yet another one of my favorites. Excellent lighting here. I'm not sure how these are called in English, but they have those really fluffy kind of like cotton balls. Really beautiful light. Beautiful light. This is one of those funny ones. This here says something like security and protection, probably the security company's car, and the priest here, no doubt offering security and protection, but of an other kind. However, the humor is really, really well used, and the church steeple here. Clever images. The dog here. I'm a bit surprised. This is a Catholic church. I think this person would not have gotten away with taking a dog to church were this an Orthodox church. But that aside, it's a beautiful picture. This is a really strong one. Really great composition. These iron bars in the concrete here add a lot of roughness, a lot of almost like hostility to the background, but there's all of the sudden there's calmness and serenity once you're eyes travel towards the subject, because I think this is the first thing that jumps to you. As far as I'm concerned, my eyes went here first. A lot of crazy action with the bars here, and this guy is just peaceful and serene, praying. And I think this is Saint Joseph. I think I read that right. Clever use of diagonals. Good interplay between two people mirroring each other. Look, hands together here, hands together here. Basically the same pose. This is not as closed down as far as aperture goes, because there's a bit of a background blur action going on here. Now this is really wonderful. If a lot of the images in this book are just strong, effective images, this is just simply beautiful and gentle. There's almost like a shyness to the monk here. I think he's a monk. The way he just barely touches the door here, the way you just barely get a glance at half of his face, and the negative space here works great with the negative space here, and basically you have a very strong center part to the image. You know how I see this image? It's just like a postcard. This could have easily said Romania in strong capital letters here. It's just very, very particular and very... It just smells and looks like Romania. You see these images towards the middle of the book are, I won't say monotonous, because they're far from it, but they have reached almost like a plateau. There's not a lot of ups and downs. They're just maybe not so much this one, because this is really, really a good hard stop and brilliant punctuation, but these ones and these ones are just holding you at a plateau as far as action. Now this is another beautiful image. Quite a handsome pose for the boy here. These boys with the lollipops. Now this one is one of those images that makes the hair stand up on my back. Her expression is just incredible. I think Oliver told me, I think I'm right, if I remember correctly, this is from the Resurrection Mass from the Catholics, and it's like she's seen a saint, or everybody's just calm. The lady in the back almost kind of like seems bored. These two gentlemen in the front seem serene and composed, while the little girl here is just in awe of something. What kind of, and I'm only seeing this now, the eye contact from this lady just kind of takes this image down a notch, because were it not for her, this image would have worked a lot better. See? This is just kind of like breaks the fourth wall. Look at this guy in the back here. Really happy and laughing. Excellent composition between the gentlemen here. Beautiful work, just beautiful work. This is really beautiful. It's almost like a metamorphosis, like a transformation from ordinary folk down to saints here in the reflection. It's Now, these are merely my interpretations. This is not meant to say I am deciphering what Oliver wanted to say with the images. This is just what I see. I think this is the beauty of photography. A lot of different people see a lot of different things in the same image. And this is why I love images without a caption. And this is brilliant. There's no boy holding a candle, priest reading. That's my takeaway anyway. Beautiful, tender moment. Excellently composed. A lot of negative space working very good. It's like they're talking to each other. At least she's talking to him. Very gracious, very tender moment. Again, a lot of sensibility in this photography by Oliver Merce. This is strong. Now, this here is the subject of the image. And it occupies like 5% of the image? But there's a really strong connection between the steeple of the church here and the person here. See the cross here? There's cross here. Good figure to ground ratio because he's got white behind him. Helps to separate him from the background. A beautiful image. This is strong as well. People kneeling in prayer here and the crosses that stretch across the ground here. No doubt they're just shadows, but it really works great for this picture. This is another one of my favorites. Really great, also impressive post-processing here because no doubt this would have been pure white. I wonder, was this shot with either with a really good camera that was capable of retaining a lot of information in the highlights here, because I don't see a lot of noise, and I'm not sure if he exposed for the highlights, protecting them from getting clipped, because there's not, if he did that, he would have had to raise the shadows quite a lot, and I don't see a lot of noise here. I also don't see a lot of noise reduction. So is this an HDR shot? Makes me wonder. The nerd in me wonders. But other than that, his gaze upwards, his hands together in prayer, the fact that he seems like he's disabled, just sends a sigh of compassion and a moved heart. Really excellent use of odd angles and really clever framing here. Shooting upwards works very well, gives this monk an air of majesty, very imposing look. Imposing? Is that even a word? Very clever sequencing again. These images work together really well, really great. Very beautiful. Seems like a lot of mysticism here. The fog in the background works well with the tarp covering this monk here. Good use of close-ups. And this is the last image in the book. Works extremely well with the first image in the book. There's a cross here as well, just like there was a cross in the first image. Look, the cross here, the cross here. This guy is entering, this guy is leaving. So yeah, this was it. Act of faith. Brilliant. Now, very evidently so, this is quite beautiful work. There is, throughout the entire length of the book, there is a special kind of sensibility, something that I find very endearing because I feel it very personally. It's a lot of these talk to me in a very personal and intimate way. There's quite a bit of humor in a lot of these images. There's plenty emotion and feeling because a lot of these images actually spark very vivid physiological reactions in my body. A picture or two makes my hair stand up practically every time I see it. And this is at the same time raw, but polished and elegant with a lot of finesse. The work of Oliver is very obviously done with patience, with a lot of consideration for the subject matter at hand. And it's even in the essay by Voicu Bojan, it's titled Whistling in Church, quite funnily named, while maintaining a healthy dose of humor. It's done with respect. It's done with consideration for the fact that this portrays people praying, people where they're usually accustomed to being vulnerable. And I love this very much. The fact that he dares to be a bit, how should I put it? He's not timid, yet he is polite and elegant. He's not nice, yet he is very respectful and considerate. A lot of these images show a very mature view of the subject of faith and spirituality. And I think this just goes to show the fact that Oliver is a very accomplished, very mature, a very sensible photographer, although he's kind of a tough guy. I think he's a drummer in a heavy metal band. So I even love this contrast between the fact that he's playing, big quotes, the devil's music, and having chosen this as a subject for his book. I think it just goes to show that it's worth challenging stereotypes. It's worth going a bit beyond the Call of Duty, let's say, because this, I'm sure, was not an easy project. It's definitely the opposite of low-hanging fruit. It's something that needs to be done meticulously, with care and consideration. And I think he has achieved something very beautiful here. I'm very, very fond of this book. I'm happy to have been able to purchase it. I think I bought one of the very last few of them. My only regret is the fact that this is not a signed copy. But I will hopefully get in touch with him. I mean, actually get a hold of him so he will sign it for me. But other than that, this is one of the very best photography books that I own, and I'm very, very happy with it. That said, I hope you enjoyed this. This is just the first in a series of book reviews, so stick around, subscribe for more. I have been Radu. I'm looking forward to see you on the Discord server. Look for the link in the description. Until next time, be well.